Action.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Martavius Carpenter. I attend Middle Tennessee State University. I'm a senior, major in corporate communication with a minor in business administration. Today, I'm presenting to you my project and presentation, Managing Change and Conflict in the Workplace. It's for my issues and trends in office management course. So, to start off, both sides of the coin, change and conflict in the workplace is something that everyone has to deal with throughout their careers and everyday lives. Change and conflict can have either a positive or a negative effect, but managing change is a key issue when discussing problem in office management and careers as well, along with conflict. However, people can manage change and conflict in the workplace by supporting the cause for workplace change, communicating effectively, and understand the need of workplace change, and lastly, focus on the results. And when it comes to focusing on the results, you have to be able to, whatever situation is going on, you have to be able to build off those results. So to start off, change in workplace. And with this visual right here, of course, like when it comes to change, you have an old way, then you have to go through the process of having a new way of doing things. It's a never-ending cycle. So change in the workplace is very inevitable, along with conflict being very inevitable. Change in the workplace is bound to happen to anyone in any organization. Where does workplace change go? Where does it start? Workplace change starts when someone else begins to notice and recognize everything for their own eyes. So basically it comes from personal experiences and different results. Alright, to start off, younger people in the workplace. So when it comes to hiring younger people in the workplace, younger people can bring about career-driven individuals who wish to stay with a company long term. Firms and organizations need the younger generation in place to keep the company going and keep bringing about change in the organization. Bringing in younger people to change the organization is not an issue, but it is a trend in office management. The hiring of these individuals can have a positive outlook on your company. Younger people can learn fast, adapt quickly, and accept changes easily. And to go along with that, prime example, when it comes to technology, younger people minds adapt faster to technology, because versus someone that's an older worker or something, they are used to what they had back in their day. Older versus now, we live in an update and more up-tempo society when it comes to technology. And so leading into the change, to go along with last what I just said, innovation is something that everyone experiences each day. Innovation is a process in which a new method, idea, or product is being implemented. Many companies are trying new and creative ways to keep employees long-term rather than short-term. Bringing in new individuals, technological advancements, innovation, disturbed workload, and sustainability are all different ways employees can understand why managing change in the workplace can be effective for a business. And also to go along with that, you have somebody on the daily inventing something new or enhancing something new that with the technology that we already have. So that can also help out change in the workplace as well. And this right here is basically a short video talking about leading up to the change and everything, the last two slides I just talked about. Let's present.
How do you do change when the odds are against you? Mrs. Ellis. Ellis leads change in her company. Her task is to promote innovation and growth and to make sure her organization has a positive impact in all what they are doing. When you are in charge of a change process, it's a jungle out there. It feels that Ellis and her colleagues are lost. They are surrounded by green chaos, unknown vegetation, and strange sounds. They ask themselves again and again, how did we get into this and how will we get out? Luckily, Ellis has a special superpower. She can fly above the field and develop a broad view. From there, she can detect structures in the chaos and see the whole field. And from above, Ellis realizes, hey, I'm part of a group of people with diverse talents which they can apply to bring about positive change. They are curious about what the change brings, and they act with passion, courage, and compassion. And I can see the path and the goal. And we become aware that we have a treasure chest with us containing all kinds of helpful tools for change. Once Ellis and her teammates apply their skills and know their tools, they start to work themselves through the forest full of optimism. That is not the end of the story. On their way, they get stopped many times. There are a lot of challenges to master, but the journey continues. By remembering her capacity to lead change, Alice can help the team to reach the summit. If you want to become a leader of change, join us for an exciting learning journey. Visit us at earlychangedays.com.
And so basically with that video right there, it just basically talked about everything I done talked about in the beginning so far when it comes to change in the workplace and also when it comes to updated technology and innovation. And so what causes change in the workplace? Of course, there are different causes of change in the workplace. There's minor and big causes of workplace controversy, but here are some causes. We have competition. When it comes to competition, depending on how the customer market dynamic changes, your system, process, and structures could easily, and also the workplace needs to be at its very competitive best. It also leads to keeping up with the latest trends and changes. Technology next. Technology finds ways to update employee skills to match new changes. Also brings new training seminars and sessions for the workplace, making their daily process easier and faster. When it comes to diverse employees will help get different outlooks in the workplace. This can make the workplace successful and have a good image for your company in the long run. Next is growth. The growth in the workplace is vital for new technology and growth in the corporate world. Processes. Process changes for profits to keep the industry updated. That goes along with the technology and different innovations like people come up with on a daily. And lastly, regulations. Regulation helps to keep the workplace in a good image along with the growth. Each of these plays a major role in changes in the workplace, good or bad. And that information was cited by Shitra Reddy. Disadvantages and advantages. Determining what workplace changes are appropriate for your company. By first, understand the advantages and disadvantages of change in the organization. Taking these steps to reduce the impact can leave the workplace healthier in the long run for your company. Change in the workplace is created either internally or externally. Depending on the source of change, there are different advantages and disadvantages associated with change. Internally imposed change and externally imposed change. So the advantages of internally imposed change starts from within the org and is received in a more positive manner. Many advantages increase morale. Employee has increased empowerment and control. The change may be permanent because it is more easily accepted. And externally imposed change creates change from outside the organization, typically harder to accept when internal changes. Implemented when change needs to happen fast, prevents organization from reaching a plateau, and external change is good for improving the organization when it can be done internally. When it comes to disadvantages of internal change, if change comes from the demeaning member, it will often be the result of one person. Group mentalities can create unproductive change. An external disadvantage, an org will rebel against forced change, may be unsuccessful in the long term. Org may return to previous behaviors when external factors are removed, can cause temporary chaos and decrease productively. And this information came from an article stated by Karen Worthy. So, how do we manage change in the workplace? Everyone deals with workplace changes on the daily, and yes, on the daily. Managing change in the workplace is important due to it can cost you your job, cost you your benefits with a company in the long run. Everyone manage the changes in a different way, and it's very crucial. Here are some ways to manage change. When it comes to creating the message, create the message involves influencing the change from individuals would take to hear the message. This takes account to important business modes for workplace change. Understanding the attitudes of staff. Understanding the attitudes of staff involves discussions with groups, individuals to hear and invest in a plan for the workplace. Convey the message. Convey the message requires a business message for change and require time span over the period of time. Supporting the change. Supporting the change to reinforce activities for the workplace. So basically, when it comes to different ideas and everything that's brought together for the workplace and everything is just to get better results. Handling different views is everyone having a viewpoint and just allowing a conclusion for the workplace. And then lastly, communication. Communication is basically everyone being on the same page throughout the new and the old way of the workplace process. Alright, starting with, that was the end of change in the workplace. Now we go to the other side of the coin, conflict in the workplace. Workplace conflict may be inevitable, like I said, with change in the workplace. But it should never be ignored, because it's a never ending cycle, but it still should never be ignored because it will make a bigger situation out of a small situation. Over time, pettiness can turn to long-term problems, affect overall morale, and even customer satisfaction. Supervisors and managers should be aware of signs of conflict and address them quickly, bringing workers together to discuss and resolve areas of disagreement. What causes conflict in the workplace? First, you have poor communication, difference in personality, different values, and competition. When it comes to poor communication, it can result in communication styles or failure to communicate within the employees. Next is difference in personalities. Difference in personalities results in employees with different backgrounds and experiences. Everyone has to understand each other's personality or problems will continue to rise. Different values. Values come into play with generation gaps. Younger employees may have different values than older employees. Okay, I can use myself for a prime example, my own personal experience. When I worked at Belk up here in the Murfreesboro area, I came in, I always did my job on the daily. I did what was asked of me and everything. But I had older employees, co-workers, who came to work, and I felt like since they felt entitled because they had more experience and everything, like they could tell me what to do and everything. And of course, I know it's all about a respect thing or whatever. But I felt like it was because I was younger and I was new on the job. But I was the type to sit them down and let them know that it's still a respect thing in the every day. So that was a resolution to a conflict that couldn't become on the rise. And I even talked to management about it. And so, lastly, competition. Competition can cause conflict due to workplace competitive environments, such as salaries being linked, etc. This can relate to hostile environments in the workplace. And I can also use my own personal experience with Belk also, because it was at times, if you rang up a customer and then they enjoyed your customer service, they did a survey on you. And so if you got a lot of survey responses, good feedback and everything, you will get these certificates from the manager, and once you get a certain amount, you'll turn them into the manager, and then you will get a pay raise for your next paycheck and everything. And so it will be some co-workers that will get jealous and they would try to stop me or either other co-workers that was moving up when it came to that from making those surveys or whatever, and they would try to, steal customers and everything. But once again, everybody sat down, talked about it, and it was a problem that was squashed, and it didn't come about again. How to handle conflict in the workplace. Like I just basically talked about with my experiences, you talk with the other person or the people that's involved. That comes with the communication. You focus on behavior and events, not on personalities. You listen carefully, and you come up with points of agreements and disagreements. These all go hand in hand, because you of course have to listen carefully to see how someone else feels about the situation, because you know how you feel, but you gotta listen to the other person, see how they feel, so you all can of course come up with a point of agreement or disagreement. This video talks about my personal experiences that I just told you all that I had at Belk, my recent job and everything, and it also talks about the last few slides when it comes to conflict in the workplace. But this video will give you a clear and prime example of a conflict and how it can be squashed, how there's a conflict resolution. Let's play it.
In this short video, the supervisor Sue has called Rob into a conference room.
At a big company meeting where Sue announced a major decision, Rob spoke up and told everyone that he thought Sue's decision was the wrong one. As Rob's boss, Sue arranged this meeting to discuss a situation with Rob. This video shows two possible approaches Sue can take to resolving a conflict. Which would you choose?
Hi Sue, how are you?
I am fine, Rob. I hope you are as well. You asked to see me. What is this about?
Well, I was very disappointed in your response to the announcement yesterday. I think it was unprofessional and put me in a very bad position as your supervisor.
I am sorry to hear that, but if you knew what you were doing, I would not have responded that way.
Rob, I have had enough of your childish behavior and lack of respect. You can pack up your belongings now. I will have security escort you from the building. Goodbye. Well, Rob, I am sorry that you feel that way. Had I known you felt that way, I would have made sure we sat down to discuss this prior to the meeting. Now, why don't we sit down and discuss why you think I do not know what I'm doing?
Rob and Sue sit down on the same side of the table, facing each other, both leaning slightly forward in an active listening pose. This conflict has a chance at being resolved.
Alright, so with that video right there that you all just seen, it basically just summed up the last few slides I told you about, and even my own personal experiences, how they basically squashed a conflict and they just came to a resolution. It might be a resolution for right then and there, but it was still a resolution. Let's continue. And so examples of conflicts and resolutions in the workplace was prime example, well, the last video you just showed. But discrimination issues, performance review conflicts, and conflicts with customers. This would be the discrimination issues, as of course you see that everybody right here is in the white, but then you see an outlier that's in the red. And there's performance evaluation. When it comes to those can either be secret or sometimes they can be outspoken. And then conflicts with customers, which all three really have been happening on a daily. But when it comes to the discrimination issues, can arise from personal prejudice of the part employees or perceptions of mistreatment of employees. Performance reviews can cause conflicts with employees' reviews being displayed. Employees may get offended and lash out on others. And when conflicts with customers comes from either the customer feeling like he or she is right or the employee going by their policy to maintain their job. And of course that will result in the customer getting mad and everything. Then it leads to different like surveys, different feedbacks for your company and everything. It's just a lot. But I know I'm using my job Belk as an example for a lot of this, but it's just experience I had. Like when it came to performance review conflicts, that was the ones I was telling you about with the customer service surveys and everything. Like we used to have morning meetings, especially you worked in morning shifts. That was the time you got passed out those certificates and everything. Sometimes like, people either got jealous or people were happy for you. And then also some people got called out because like it was a certain rate on cards we would have to sell to get customers to sign up and everything. And if you didn't reach your goal, you got called out. So some customers, they took it as constructive criticism. Some took it as, I guess, like the manager's picking on them and everything. But I know with me personally, if I didn't reach my goal, I use it as motivation to make my goal for the next time. Let's continue. And so this is also another video to basically talk about everything. So let's play it.
We can all probably agree that conflict in the workplace takes a high toll all around. One research study claims that 42% of a manager's time goes to mediating conflicts. Without a solid guide for resolving conflicts correctly, this could have disastrous results. But before we can navigate how to properly resolve conflict, we have to understand why they arise in the first place. So, what creates conflict in the workplace? Opposing positions, power struggles, ego, pride, jealousy, performance discrepancies, compensation issues, or just someone having a bad day. But the reality is that the root of most conflict is either born out of poor communication or the inability to control one's emotions. Countless times, otherwise smart, capable people place the need for emotional superiority ahead of achieving the collective company mission. But don't worry, in this video we will share some guidelines to keep in mind when encountering conflicts. First, talk to each conflict participant privately to piece together a story. When talking to each person involved, keep an objective but concerned tone. Do not agree or disagree, just listen. Second, research each version of events and then write down the conflict or disagreement in a few sentences, what caused it, and a possible solution for the problem. Third, meet with the main employees involved in the conflict together in a private room. Keep a cordial and optimistic tone from the very beginning of the meeting and request the same from each person. Fourth, objectively recite the conflict back to participants, telling both sides how you understand it. Verify with each person that what you've said is accurate. Allow each person to add or correct any details and propose solutions.
And so basically with that slide, with that video, it just basically talked about the examples I gave and even my own personal experience about conflict resolution and everything. So let's continue on. And so how to resolve workplace conflict. And so with the last video, it basically talked about some of this as well. You got to set ground rules. Ask all parts to treat each other with respect and to make an effort to listen and understand others' views. Ask each participant to describe the conflict, including desired changes. Direct participants to use I statements, not you statements. They should focus on specific behaviors and problems rather than people. Ask participants to restate what others have said. And lastly, summarize the conflict based on what you have heard and obtain agreement from participants. Basically, it's just overall conversation. You all just basically having a conversation to come to a conclusion. So the situation won't either reoccur or it just won't happen again. And so, I'm not gonna play this video because I'm a little on time. And so basically this video just basically talked about everything when it comes to change and conflict in the workplace. But mainly, of course, conflict. So it just basically talks about everything. So continue. And this is my works side of this page with all my sources and everything to check everything to make sure everything is credible. And so lastly, I'll leave you off with saying that when it comes to managing change and conflict in the workplace, it goes hand in hand. Like change leads to conflict, conflict can lead to change. Both are inevitable, but at the same time, you don't want to go to a company that constantly have these problems. You'd rather have minimal problems than maximum problems. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's inevitable. But you, my friend, can make that better. Thank you.